In the small town of Rishalpur, surrounded by green fields and dusty roads, lived a boy named Arav. He was 15, thin, quiet, and often lost in his own world of dreams. Unlike the other children his age, who were busy playing cricket or spending time on their phones, Arav had only one dream: to become a long-distance runner. Whenever he ran, he felt free, free from the worries of life, free from the strictness of his father, and free from the poverty that wrapped around his family like an old blanket. Running was not just a sport for him. It was something that made him feel alive. But dreams never come easy, especially for those who are born without privilege. Arav's father, Mahesh, was a carpenter who struggled every day to earn enough money to support the family. His mother, Kamla, worked at a small tea stall. Every rupee mattered. Every extra minute of work mattered. And in such a situation, dreaming to become a professional athlete seemed almost foolish. Yet Arav's heart refused to listen. Every morning before sunrise, when the whole town was asleep, he would wake up quietly, tie his worn-out shoes, the same shoes he had been using for 2 years, and go running on the empty roads. The shoes were torn from the front, but Arav tried his best to hide the holes by stuffing newspaper inside. The laces were mismatched strings from an old bag, but he tied them firmly every day with pride, because to him, these shoes were not broken. They were a symbol of hope. The first challenge. One morning, while Arav was practicing near the school ground, Coach Pratap, the sports teacher, noticed him. The coach was a strict but kind-hearted man who had trained several state-level athletes. "Why do you run like that?" the coach asked. Arav froze. "Sir, running with torn shoes? You'll hurt yourself, boy." Arav looked down, embarrassed. He didn't want pity. Coach Pratap sighed. "Do you want to run professionally?" Arav's eyes lit up. "Yes, sir. More than anything." "Then join the school practice team from tomorrow." Arav couldn't believe it. It was the first time someone had acknowledged his dream. The struggle begins, but problems do not vanish just because a dream is born. When Arav told his father about joining the school training, Mahesh frowned. "Athlete? Runner? Will that fill your stomach? Will it pay our bills? Stop wasting time and start helping me at the workshop." Arav tried to explain, but his father had seen enough failures in life to trust dreams. Still, Arav decided not to give up. He woke up even earlier, helped his father at the workshop for an hour, and then ran to the school ground for practice. Every day, Coach Pratap pushed him harder. Again, faster. Your breath must follow your rhythm. Feel the ground beneath you. Arav would collapse at the end, gasping for air. But a small smile always remained on his face. The pain in his legs didn't hurt as much as the thought of giving up. The first race. After 3 months of intense practice, the district-level race was announced. The winner would get sponsorship for training, a sports kit, and a chance to qualify for the state championship. Coach Pratap said, "Arav, this is your chance. Don't be afraid." But Arav was afraid. His shoes were almost unusable. During practice runs, they slipped off, and the sole flapped like the wing of a dead bird. He tried to hide it from the coach. On the day before the race, when Arav was practicing alone, the shoe tore completely. He sat on the ground, holding the torn shoe, and for the first time in months, tears filled his eyes. "How am I supposed to run tomorrow?" he whispered. He thought about telling the coach, but his fear of losing the opportunity stopped him. He thought about giving up, but then he remembered the first time he ever ran. Barefoot, free, and full of dreams. So he made a decision. The day of the race. The stadium was crowded. Participants wore branded shoes, professional kits, and confident smiles. Arav stood among them, wearing an old t-shirt and running barefoot. People laughed. Is he serious? Look at him. Barefoot? He's going to lose. He won't last a minute. Even the announcer hesitated before saying his name, but Arav's eyes were fixed on the track ahead. The whistle blew. Arav ran. The ground felt rough and hot under his feet. Stones pricked like needles, but he kept moving. His breath was steady, his mind sharp. He remembered his mother waking up before dawn to cook for him. He remembered his father working late nights despite back pain. He remembered running on those empty morning roads, feeling the wind on his face. And he remembered one thing: never give up on your goals. By the last lap, Arav was behind only 2 runners. His legs burned, his chest tightened, but he pushed harder. Just a little more, he whispered to himself. With every step, he gained speed. With every breath, he rose higher. And in the last 10 seconds, as the crowd roared, he sprinted like a bullet and crossed the finish line. 3rd place. Not first, not second, but 3rd. Still, it was more than enough to qualify for the next level, the turning point. When Arav walked toward the podium, limping slightly, the announcer said, "This boy ran barefoot and still finished 3rd. A true fighter." The stadium erupted in applause. Coach Pratap hugged him. "You have something special, Arav. I'm proud of you." The local sports foundation offered him a free training program, new running shoes, and a monthly stipend. For the first time in years, Arav's father's eyes welled up. Not with disappointment, but with pride. "I was wrong," Mahesh said quietly. "You were not wasting time. You were chasing your destiny." Arav hugged him tightly. New challenges, new dreams, new dreams. With better resources, Arav's training improved. His stamina increased, his speed sharpened, and his confidence grew. But life isn't a straight path. New challenges always appear. At the state championship, Arav injured his ankle during practice. Doctors advised him to rest, but the competition was only days away. Maybe it's not your time, people told him. But Arav had learned something. Goals do not listen to excuses, so he started training slowly, carefully, pushing himself just enough to rebuild strength. On the day of the state race, he was not fully recovered, but he was mentally stronger than ever. He finished 4th, not enough to win, not enough to qualify for nationals, but enough to teach him something important. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. He didn't cry. He didn't quit. He simply started training again. Years of hard work, months turned into years. Arav woke up every morning at 4 a.m. He trained until his legs trembled. He ate simple meals. He avoided distractions. He kept running, even when it hurt. He read inspirational books, watched races of legendary runners, and visualized himself standing on the national podium. Slowly, his name started appearing in district newspapers. Arav wins gold. Local boy qualifies for state finals. Rishalpur's pride aims for national championship. His parents looked at him with admiration. His village kids followed him like a hero. But Arav knew he had one ultimate goal: the National Long Distance Championship. The National Championship. The stadium was gigantic, filled with thousands of spectators, bright lights and loud cheers. As Arav stood on the track, he remembered the barefoot boy with torn shoes who once stood on a dusty ground, and he smiled. The whistle blew. This time, Arav didn't run to prove himself. He ran to honor every struggle he had faced. The race was intense. The competitors were the best in the country. By the 8th lap, Arav was sweating heavily, but his focus remained unbroken. His coach shouted from the sidelines, "Believe in yourself. You've worked too hard to stop now." The last lap started. Arav pushed himself with everything he had. His lungs burned, his legs screamed for rest, but his heart whispered, "Never give up, not now, not ever." With one final burst of speed, Arav sprinted ahead and crossed the finish line. 2nd place, silver medal. He had done it. He was now officially one of the top runners in India. The message behind the journey. When Arav held the silver medal in his hands, tears rolled down his cheeks. People saw the medal, the success, the applause, but only he knew the truth. He had won because he never gave up. Not when he had torn shoes, not when he lost races, not when he faced injuries, and not when the world doubted him. In the award ceremony, Arav was asked, "What kept you going?" He smiled and said, the stadium erupted in applause. Final moral of the story: your background doesn't define your future. Hard work beats talent when talent stops trying. Failures are stepping stones, not roadblocks. No matter how dark the path seems, keep moving forward.